G'day, guys. Hope you're enjoying the podcast.
As always.
We're about to be enjoying the podcast anyway.
Yeah.
If you are enjoying the pod, make sure to send it to a friend. Yeah. And excitingly, there's a brand new feature.
New feature alert.
On Spotify, which is that little feedback box.
The box. We love a little box.
And on the on each of the episodes, you can plug away a bit of feedback for the show. So you can literally say basically give us some feedback specific to the show that you just listened to, the episode you just listened to. No matter what episode you're up to, ping us in that feedback, and then you can that feedback will then feature for other people who are catching up or they're listening to the episodes. They will see that as well, and most importantly, we like to see it. So if you can share it with your friends and write a few little words in the box, it would mean the absolute world to us. G'day and welcome to the Knack Pack. We're back. My name's Jamie Kenner, and to my left this week in order, the man on the panel is probably the worst at parking. It's my little brother Joe. How are you, boy?
Yes, and I have a big story that's hit my life about parking.
You wanted to say the news and then had to whittle it right back to my life, I guess. And to my right, coming in at 6'1", as he does each and every week, it's the baby brother of the pack. Who we call Junior Boy. Junior Boy, how are you?
Boys, I've noticed a brand has stolen another brand's brand asset. I won't tell you what it is.
Brand has stolen a brand's brand.
I won't tell you what it is yet.
Wouldn't have anything to do with MacPack, would it?
But it might work in our favour.
I bloody hope not. Joey, you're kicking things off with a parking story. I'm chatting about the footy. Riley's got a brand debate to take place.
Baby.
And we're also chatting about, I don't even know what that says. ChatGPT. Let's get into it. Boys.
Brother Mingo.
How are we all? Well.
Good to be home.
Well, you said off the top that I was the worst parker in the pack.
Yeah.
I've been nailing my reverse parallel parks lately.
Eshe.
Have you been in the car with him when he's trying to park?
In the big 3.5 metre long.
Yeah.
How big is your car?
It's 2D at this point.
It's-
My car, I got a tiny car and it has a camera. And it makes parking, especially reverse parallel parking.
Yeah.
It's so, you just slide in, you feel like a boss.
Why would
you
we
get out
not?
of you.
Joe's car is a cube. You could almost fit two of Joe's cars in every parking spot in Perth, I reckon.
And it makes it easy to nail it. But I've got parking as my segment today, guys.
Here we go.
Huge. We're off.
Have you ever seen these parking signs around WA? And are they true?
Ooh.
Last week we had Dyson Heffel on the podcast, and now we're doing parking
We're
stuff.
doing fake signs.
So these signs, I think, are lies.
Okay.
To trick and scare the public.
Why?
I'm intrigued.
So you ever park at like a shop? You know, like a Bull Creek shops, a Southlands.
Okay.
Don't
Riverton.
mention too many other places we go.
Carrying up.
Carrying up. Yeah, carrying up.
Just to
Broome
spread out.
Shopping Centre.
Have you been to
Docklands.
Bondi?
Yeah.
You shop at Bondi?
Docklands in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And you park there, and then they have a little sign up that says max 3-hour parking.
Yeah, the max 3p.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do they say underneath the sign?
You're a virgin.
Yes. And how do they know?
Why? What does it actually say?
It says automatic number plate recognition in use.
Yeah, okay.
Huge if true.
That can't be true.
What do you mean?
How are they scanning the plates? I used to park allegedly at Bull Creek shops for just whole days. When the train station was full, I would go
Yeah.
to park at the what do you call
Shopping
it?
centre.
Yeah.
Next to the big sign.
The arrogance.
Never
of
an issue. And it's like, I even parked there because I was like, the first time I had to do it, I was like, 3 hours, work days, sometimes it gets up to 7.5 hours.
Yeah.
Most times.
And I don't want to get in trouble with the law.
No, you're a bit of a coin skin of all of us.
So I looked up at the sign, I looked around and I was like,
3p.
I think I'll risk it. There's no way for them to...
No.
Well, how was your blood pressure for the rest of the day? Because something like that for you would have been like almost the same feeling as if you did a hot hit and run.
Yeah, when I came back, I was expecting like the bloody police commissioner would be there, swinging the cuffs around, saying, You didn't park here at 2:01 p.m., did you?
But my thing with them, because I always see them even in suburbia as well, like street parking often has like 3p
Yeah.
next to it. Or like you go to the city and there'll be a 2p. But I always think that's like by the time the inspector walks around, he'll note down that you were there at 3:01. And if you're still there at 6:01, that's when you'll pin
Yeah,
you.
so I think I get that, but that's not automatic number plate recognition in use.
Ooh.
So what happens, and this only happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you remember, I discussed the car incident
Yes.
I had, and then I got a fine.
You got done.
Yeah. So they run the exact same system. Again, this is at Coburn Central
Yep.
sort of way, and this shopping centre is near there. And that ends up being what happens because people can't fit their cars in the car park, so then they park at the shopping centre. And this had the same sign on it, and so it must be in use. I
And
don't
you got
understand.
done?
Yeah, well,
It's not automatic. I parked there for weeks.
no, but it does involve someone driving around to check.
Just, yeah, right.
Mate.
But that
Maybe-
part's still automatic.
Maybe like the parking inspector has a car which
That's
scans
exactly right.
number plates.
It's what happens at Curtin University. You went there.
Yeah, and I got fines.
Yeah. But I think that just means like the person in charge of the car is a lot less lazy at Curtin
Yeah.
than he is wherever you're parking. Because at Curtin, what a gig! Like you're just driving around. There's thousands of people
Yeah.
who park.
racking up
They must
millions.
make so much.
And you'll
per
put your
day.
own BSB account on these slips of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually probably not, legal, but you could do that to cars.
Yeah, you definitely could. I'm sure
Put
you'd
your
lose your
own-
job pretty quickly.
Ah.
But yeah, it got me thinking about other signs that people put up, even though the sign isn't true. Like those ones like, if you like live alone, you might be scared, so you put up the big like "Beware of dog" sign.
Yeah.
Or even like I know at our old house, we used to have a big sticker about our security system.
Oh
Yeah.
Non-existent at the time.
yeah.
But it is interesting, like, is sometimes just getting a sign. Does it do the
Is
job?
that the deterrent? Well, it's funny. At our current house, we've got all these fake security cameras, but we also have installed real security cameras. So, like,
It's
I think
hard
the
to-
fake ones were here before we.
We have a
moved in.
fake one next to a real one just to
Yeah.
really make you sick.
Yeah, so then you're like, well, this one had to be covered. So I knew which one was here would have been a real one.
Yeah. I remember hearing something about the reason why people have baby on board stickers. And it wasn't so that the person behind you would slow down or keep distance. It was another reason, which I can't remember.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
So they
think
wouldn't
I
ask to
told
date
you
ya.
that.
Did you tell me?
I heard that baby on board was if you're in a car accident, it's so the first responders will know that there's a baby
Oh.
because maybe you can't find it because,
Yeah.
Grim.
But
once
then,
if it was driving, it might have gone flying around.
but the baby on board bumper sticker, it stays on. So even if the baby isn't in the car and you get in a crash, the first responders will be like, "Where the fuck is the baby?
Where's the baby? The baby
I'm
is
not
gone
leaving
missing."
here until I find
Big
this
headline:
baby."
"Missing baby." Yeah.
And it's just the logo of the baby on board thing. Yeah, I thought it was just so you slow down so you don't rear end them.
Yeah, because up until then, unless they wear the sticker, I
tailgate
always,
the shit out
I
of them.
always rear end.
High
Yeah,
beams
yeah.
on.
I rear end everyone that doesn't have one
Yeah,
on. But if
yeah.
they've got the sticker, I give them a pass. That's my rule. Boys, how do we find the footy being back on the weekend?
It was
Bloody hell.
fantastic.
It's good to be
Full
back.
9 games, full 9-game fixture.
Of course.
We're not going to have many 9 games fixtures all year, by the
Yeah,
way.
bring on the buys.
What we need, more buy rounds. I think there's like 8 buy rounds this year, which seems like overs.
Everyone needs a resty poo.
It's also a really quick reset from round to round now. We've only got 3 nights off, boys.
Yeah,
We're
by
already
this,
33% of the way through no footy this week.
that's so true. There's actually now currently more footy on. There's more days where footy is on than there is days where footy is not on.
Yeah.
Because you get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then you go to work
And then Monday you got the mains test.
yeah.
Tuesday's talking footy.
Just got an
And Wednesday
internship on SEN. I was like,
Wednesday you hang out with the fans.
Wednesday you do tipping and fantasy.
Yeah,
and you're
Wednesday-
bagging.
Wednesday you're sorting out
Full-time
your
job.
20-leg malt.
what I noticed, and I think a lot of people have noticed, especially over the first proper full weekend of 2025 footy, is that on Saturday, no footy available to free-to-wear users Addle.
Fantastic decision by the AFL.
No live footy on Saturdays. Addle.
And you know what was on? Go Fish. You guys watch that show? Or iFish, whatever the hell it's called. You know the fishing show that's on 7? It's on every weekend. And then the footy season starts and it gets punted down the road to 7, mate. Like it's some bloody third-class citizen that we don't care about. Oh, but then footy's over.
That's
And
bad.
we're bloody reeling in barramundis like we gave a shit about them all year.
The 2025 season marks the first of a new 7-year deal with the AFL and the game's broadcasters.
Do you think they picked 7 years as a fuck you to Channel 7?
Wait. So you're telling me we're not going to get footy free to air on TV for 7 years?
on Saturdays?
On
Is
Saturdays
it always
for
only
7
for
years.
the first 8 rounds?
So I'll explain it to you, because I get there's going to be a fair amount of confusion.
Yeah.
So for the next 7 years, there will be no live AFL football available on free-to-air TV via Channel 7
Wait, on Saturday.
on Saturday. Did I leave that bit
No,
out?
you said that.
There was a lot of details. And you know what I hated in this press release thing about it?
Yes.
Is they were putting in the game, like the time it was going to be on afterwards, and there was a lot of time zones going on.
Yeah.
So you're seeing, like, oh, that's not bad. Freo was on at lunch.
No.
Yeah,
Game's
the games,
done.
they've already been smashed.
So as part of the new agreement, fans will still have access to the same number of live free-to-air home and away games, which is 81. But because I believe they're now playing more games on Thursday,
Yeah.
that has meant that they have taken off all of the Saturday fixtures, right? So this, for example, Riley, is exactly what they ran on the weekend. So this is Saturday's footy fixture, and as you can see, there are a few seven mates in there.
Yep, nice to see.
But they have a heavy delay. So they got a 2-hour delay on that one in WA, 2-hour delay on that one in Queensland, 2-hour or hour and a half delay in Adelaide. If you're enjoying this week's episode of the podcast, the best thing that you can do to show us a little bit of support is to share it with your mates. Whether it's a story on Instagram, a private message to a pal,
A DM.
slide into those DMs, do whatever you need be, or even just like message your mum and be like, these guys, they swear a lot, but like
I prefer Gmail as
they
well.
mean,
Gmail
yeah,
works.
Gmail's good.
Gmail's good.
It's slow, like it's a very slow and formal
work?
way.
I click on any link I get in my Gmail.
Yeah, nice, fair enough. So yeah, chuck it on your Instagram story or send it to a mate. But whatever you do, we just want to grow this little baby pack.
Fantastic. And then every week you can chatter about the pack with your pack.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah, why though? Is it so you pay for a KO subscription?
So part of the deal is that Saturdays are now exclusively from rounds 1 through to 8, exclusively Australia-wide, only available live on KO. And then after round 8, I believe WA and one other state. I'm just trying to work out if
we
it's...
went Channel 7 on a Saturday mode.
I was kind of
Okay.
comfortable in the silence.
Yeah,
It was
we
nice.
were sitting with what we were
Let's sit
discussing.
with it again.
Across the country, there won't be any live matches on free-to-air on Saturdays for at least the 8 opening rounds, while this extends for the full home and away season for people in Victoria and Tasmania. So if you live in Melbourne, you will not watch
Go to the game.
a free-to-air game of AFL footy on Channel 7 on Saturdays until the finals begin. The whole home and away season, you're dreaming.
Yeah, Raymond.
You're dreaming. And it's all part of the deal to obviously make people pay more via KO
Yeah, or pay.
via Fox to broadcast the respective games.
So that sucks.
I don't understand how the AFL is like, we need round 0 so people in Queensland will watch the game
In New South
and we'll make
Wales.
them fucking pay for it.
Yeah.
Like, it's so...
So one of my
Oh,
big...
we're anti this, right? I just wanted to check.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
I don't love it. Unless KO obviously want to come on board, then we can probably
Yeah,
turn
get
a
on
blind eye for a
board.
bit.
Yeah.
Get on board. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. I'll do anything for a bit of cash.
Hey, yo.
It
Fuck
is-
free to air.
It is a little bit... It is a bit sad. It's not that long ago that I recall watching, and this will blow both your minds, but I was only in high school when Channel 7 had the rights to the footy on a Friday night and the games were not played live. In Perth, I used to watch a Friday night fixture which started at 8:30 p.m. on a Friday night. Meanwhile, in Melbourne, that game was
Done.
Finished. It was over.
I think back in the day that was fine because I remember we used to watch the Freo game. The Freo game was delayed, so people would go to the game, which is fine. But nowadays, everyone knows what's happening all the time.
It used to be a case of if you were in the radio, if you were in your car and you were listening to the radio, and the news come on and they were going to do a quick score update, they'd say, "Hey, if you haven't currently watched the footy and you don't want to know the scores, just turn your radio down for 5 seconds." And then we'd all, as a nation, turn our radio down for 5 seconds. That announced the score, and then you'd come back in.
Wow.
And that used to happen. Used to happen on the news. It was like, we're going to just quickly do the footy. If you guys don't want to, if you don't want to know the score, look away now. And that's literally what they would say. And you're just pause, like that silence we had earlier. Yeah, that was essentially what they used to do.
I think that was fine back in the day, but now it's you get texts coming in, group chats, you're seeing it on Instagram.
You can't miss it. You can't miss any information, which is good and bad, one and the same.
That sucks because Aussie rules footy. It's the nation's sport. And there's so many Australians that can't afford to pay for KO and Fox. So they just can't watch live footy.
100%. And in a demographic, it may be an older demographic, for example. So let's say if our nan wanted to watch the footy, you just can't because she would have to, in order for my nan to watch the football, our nan to watch the football, she would need to buy an Apple TV.
Yeah.
She would need to have internet access.
Yeah.
She would need to set up a KO account.
Yeah.
She would then need to learn how to use the remote, which as a 28-year-old male challenges a fair few of my mates. And then she would need to work out what time and everything was on and then work through, arguably, I love the app, use it every day, one of the worst interfaces of all time, just so she could watch her West Coast Eagles get pumped by 86 points. That would be a nice, peaceful Saturday afternoon for down on the couch.
And what about people who live in places where there's barely even TV reception, let alone internet?
Yeah. Good luck to you.
It's just
one of the biggest issues I have with it is the AFL will be able to tick this off and continually say that the game is growing at a rapid rate. And this, for example, has had no issue on the AFL, and the AFL will continue to grow. And as a result of not having games on free-to-air on 7, that has done nothing for the people. The people have spoken and memberships have gone up. But the reason memberships have gone up is it now costs, as of literally 2 weeks ago, it costs $40 a month to have a KO subscription. And that gets you 2 devices that you can only watch. You can only watch on 2 devices. You pay $40 a month, which 2 years ago for I think it used to cost $25, you could get 3 devices. Move forward 24 months. It's now gone up at a rate that I heard recently, the highest of any streaming account ever.
in the world.
Netflix, Prime, Stan,
Binge.
BritBox, anything you want. The rate in which KO is going up is fucking far quicker than any of those. We're now up to $40 a month. I myself, back-to-back years, have bought a Collingwood membership as a digital member because it costs $350 for the year for the same thing. Which saves you, quick math, Joey, 40 times 12?
40 times 12, 480.
So it saves you $130 just to do that.
Oh.
But as a result, the AFL can tick off, and just for me, say that I have voted with my voice, I have voted with my money, and as a result, Collingwood's membership has grown by 1.
Ooh.
Now, that has happened across the nation, I have no doubt, because if you're paying $40 a month for a KO membership, stop now. It doesn't matter who you support in the AFL. Buy a membership. A digital membership is $350. You will save $140. But the AFL, come the end of the year, will go, memberships have never been higher. Club memberships have never been higher. The game is growing like this. And it couldn't be further from the truth.
Dang.
We're just making up the numbers, however the AFL wants to. But the people like Nan, for example, stuck in silence.
Yeah.
Saturdays, cannot watch the game.
Damn.
But the AFL can sit back and be like, the game is growing at a rapid rate. Memberships have never been higher. And that just couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about footy last week at work, and then one of the ladies was like, "Oh, I heard that it's not going to be on TV on Saturday." And then I was like, "Yeah, like for the first 8 rounds, it's not going to be on TV." And she's like, "Oh, that's really sad. Like I'm not like super into footy, but like, yeah, just Saturday you have it on the TV, something to do. Like it's in the background. Like that's what the weekend feels like."
Absolutely. It's very un-Australian.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So just keep that in mind when the AFL come out in September and say AFL memberships have never been higher. The game is in a great space. It's very hard for people who can't buy memberships and can't do anything like that to actually get their voice heard when the AFL is being like, "Oh, nah, we're going really well."
And also, like KO's been sold to a, international multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
So we'll give them money. Not
It's only going to go up as well.
free-to-air.
If it's $40 a month, and I personally think it's gone to $40 a month because then you can buy an AFL membership and it's actually worthwhile doing.
Yeah.
If the AFL memberships were worth $480, no one would fucking do it. Like, what was the point?
We should.
But now that you get a heavy discount, of course you do it.
If you're at the game,
That's a good point.
go live on Instagram.
For the people.
From one inquest to another, Junior Boy, take us away. A bit of advertising
right.
gear.
Working in the industry these days,
Yeah.
you pick up on things a little bit more than you
the
used
ad
to.
man.
He's the ad man today, apparently. I've taken the reins off Jake.
We didn't have a sting for that, did we?
No.
I think
He's
it's
the ad man. That's isolated, so we can do something with that.
We
Can
could.
cook it up.
But we won't.
No, of course not.
All right, boys. Let's get down to business. Joe, I'm going to ask you a question, and I need you to answer truthfully. Right hand on the Bible type stuff.
Okay.
What company uses this tagline, Joe? Blank, you've done it again.
Oh.
It's McCain, but there is another company running with it,
Yeah.
and that company is blank. You've done it again.
I know where we're at.
Okay,
I've definitely seen it,
let's
but I
have a
can't
listen.
remember.
Let's have a listen. So this is obviously the classic McCain's.
McCain.
Morning. Hi, Bert.
You've done it again.
Morning.
That recording is from 1985.
Sounds saucier than I remember it. Just listen to the tone in which the legend goes with it.
McCain.
Morning. Hi, Bert.
You've done it again.
What a voice!
You've
like,
done it again.
you've
And
done-
then he
like,
tickles
you
you.
you can hear him getting erect as he says that, which is quite impressive.
McCain was doing it to him again.
You've done a bit of voiceover work. What sort of state do you have
What-
to be in to get to the...
Yeah,
Done
how
it
about,
again.
how about this? What note would they have given that led to that?
McCain.
Morning. Hi, Bert.
You've done it again.
Morning.
Sound engineer sticking his finger fair up. But obviously, boys, I heard on radio the other day this.
JB, you've done it again.
Yes.
That's
JB Hi-Fi stealing McCain's tagline.
And the thing about that is McCain is cooking up the potatoes and the goods.
Yes.
JB is procuring from international suppliers.
That's right.
They're not doing anything. I've
Crazy.
never gone, JB nailed this PlayStation 5 game that I was able to price match.
You've done it again.
Like, they don't make stuff.
I did flag this a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if it was to you.
yeah, we were talking. I think we heard it in the car together. and we were
Yeah.
like, "Have you noticed that they've stolen that?"
Yes, but
Yeah.
I've also noticed that McCain... I haven't seen a McCain ad in a long time.
They've
That
been
is also
selling
true.
iPads.
Yeah.
So I'm unsure if they have... Like, I still eat the chips, 4 times a day. But
100%.
have they still advertising? Has the iconic lingo died in the ass?
What
So
was
that's the question. You go, Joe. You go.
What was JB Hi-Fi's old slogan?
I didn't really think they had one. I'm going to get to it. Boys. I did a lot of research.
Okay,
Doing a bit
sorry.
of-
You don't have any more of these?
None of these. We're doing a bit of media watch here, boys.
Oh,
Another
So-
media watch.
The question we're asking today is, boys, did JB Hi-Fi steal McCain's tagline?
Yes.
I'm going to say, based on that and what we had discussed in a couple of weeks ago when we first heard it, I'm going to say 100%.
Alrighty. So the first time we heard McCain, you've done it again, was around 1985.
Wow. That's before any of us.
Yeah. And I thought JB Hi-Fi have just stolen this recently. But apparently the first time we heard JB, you've done it again, was early 2000s.
Okay, so still stole it,
Okay.
but only 20 years ago.
Yep. Yeah, so they did steal it. It's like a known fact.
They were
that
only 15 years late.
They did take the tagline. And then I was like, I did some research and I was like, should they have got sued for this? Or did they get sued for this? And how are they still using it in 2025? Despite the similarity, apparently McCain never sued JB Hi-Fi because the brands operate in completely different industries, so the trademark infringement is unlikely.
So you're
Interesting.
saying that like
Like,
We
for
could
example,
say-
if there was a brand that made sort of winter apparel, and there was another brand that did sort of
A
comedic
podcast,
podcast.
you're
we
in
would
the
be
clear?
sweet. So
That's good to know. Just if anyone else is
Yeah,
out
although
there
we did make
wondering
those
that.
jumpers with the giant.
I know we didn't. That wasn't us.
no, they weren't jumpers. They were
They were rags.
Podcast wear.
podcast uniform
Uniforms.
type
Yeah,
thing,
that's right.
It was a business expense, if you will. But yeah, so JB Hi-Fi have technically just borrowed inspiration from McCain's tagline, but never got in trouble for it.
Wow.
There you go. So technically, that means us as a podcast, we could say the MacPack Podcast, I'm loving it. Or
We could.
the MacPack Podcast, just do it.
I like it.
Yeah.
The MacPack Podcast, the best a man can get.
The MacPack
Yeah.
podcast, you've done it again.
Oh my god.
Has anyway, is
Has
that
anyone done
freshie?
with that? If we were to do that, I want this guy to do it.
Ah, McCain,
Morning. Hi, Bert.
you've done it again.
Why does he sound like what I imagine
done it again.
Rowan Atkinson would actually behave like off camera?
Yeah, legit. So there you
JB
go.
Hi-Fi, you've done it again.
So it's fine.
It's fine.
They're in the clear.
Play on. But it's weird that like you never really heard JB do the slogan until like this year.
It is funny, hey, about the whole slogan thing. I get the whole brand identity and stuff, but it is funny that like the company, you need to come up with like a silly sentence that is about you.
Yeah,
You know,
We're trying to do one.
we've been working on it
been
for 4 years. Yeah.
If anyone has one of them, let us know.
I thought of a good one the other day. I'll tell you boys off air. We've definitely already thought of it, but it was just flowing the other day.
The thing I liked about the McCain, you've done it again, obviously, as a man who has written 234 rhymes for the podcast,
Oh, they
is
rhyme.
that it rhymes.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I said when I heard the JB one. It was like,
JB in the P. Like, what are you going with?
JB,
doesn't-
you've done it again.
and I get
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What has he done again?
Ripped
What
off
has
some
he done?
poor
And who is
company.
JB? Like McCain is like, oh,
The guy.
McCain, you've done it again.
Yeah. I also love how they do McCain. Like
Yeah.
I always thought it was called McCain. You know? Like with a like his first name was R
Yeah.
and his last name was Matt Kane. You know, do you ever think that?
No.
Never.
He really does a big
Oh, McCain. You've done it again.
JB. You've done it again.
Junior boy!
Jake, something's really been playing on my mind recently. And it's the fact that I think we're getting too reliant on ChatGPT, boys.
Ooh.
I don't know about you, but I think I'm using it a little bit too much.
I thought this was going to be a personal attack because there's been a few times over the last couple of weeks where I use chat.
Oh, yeah, you definitely use it way
You're
more than
another
me.
level of fuck.
You were, yeah, you're almost texting it constantly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, you're too young to be aware, but in MySpace, you used to rank your top friends.
Yeah.
If I had to do it currently, it'd be chat 1, and then I'm not sure who after that.
ChatGPT, Claude, Bing, Copilot.
Yeah.
These are all the chats.
Such a nerd. But yeah, I chat a fair bit, and then I often send the screenshots to you lads just for confirmation from someone with like blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to make sure, like, just to keep me in check. Because if it told me to kill someone, part of me would be like, I should probably check this with
Yeah.
at least somebody with a soul.
We should probably go over to Google chatbot and check what they
What do
think.
you think, though? Yeah.
What do you
But-
use it for?
Are you talking to me or Jake?
It's a podcast, but it's sort of dialogue with three of us.
We'll start with you.
What do I use it for? Should we go through my most recent?
See, I'm fucking scared.
See,
See,
mine's
that's
a little
No,
bit-
what you got to do is type in what do you think of me?
Ooh, that's chill, dude.
I have done that. Okay, so I've done a
Yeah.
few things because obviously, like, I'm a bit iffy. So I've even looked at a few of the things that I've said, and I know that neither of you would have done this, but they've been hectic enough that I've then deleted them.
Oh, you got to delete.
Oh.
Sometimes you got to delete.
Oh, right.
When you're getting-
Okay. I've only ever felt the need to delete once.
Now, you're getting advanced hemorrhoid advice. You don't need that clouding up the rest of your search history.
Yeah.
It is interesting when you've obviously put something in there over the journey and then you ask it for like assistance on something else and it just brings that up. And I'm like, whoa, that's got nothing to do with this.
You can overcome this.
I
You
was-
overcame the hemorrhoids.
Yeah, exactly. I was chatting about playing golf the other day with it. I don't even know why. And it was like talking to me about what I should be doing about my knees and stuff. And I'm like, oh, it's a good week. I don't have an issue at the
I
moment.
just asked, what do you think of me? And it was like pretty much like bang on with what I do and who I am.
All right. Well, do you want to start? Are we reading them out? Do we feel... What
Yeah.
do you think of...
I mean, I won't mention the hemorrhoid stuff.
No.
Well, that'll be a through line for all of us.
Genetic.
yeah, genetic. Hereditary.
I think you're a creative guy, funny and ambitious. You've got a great mix of interests, radio, podcasting, comedy, and videography, which tells me you're passionate about storytelling and entertaining people. You seem like someone who enjoys coming up with fresh ideas and who isn't afraid to try new things. Plus, the fact that you're into Aussie comedians suggests you've got a sharp sense of humour. How do you see yourself?
Oh! How do you see me?
I love when it asks you a question back and you're like,
It usually I think it does every time, doesn't it?
You didn't ask me a question.
hates Joe.
Fucking hates
Didn't ask
You're
me
a
question
gimp
either.
weirdo with no...
Mine's flirting with me.
Oh, mine is just talking about... Do I have to read it?
Read it out.
Yeah,
If you
read
feel
it out.
comfortable, you can edit. You can edit any bit you want.
It says, I think you're driven, disciplined, and always looking to improve yourself. Not bad. Whether it's in fitness, finance, comedy, or your creative projects, you're also thoughtful and self-aware. Plus, you've got a great sense of humor and an eye for niche details that make things interesting. Overall, you seem like someone who works hard, but also knows how to have fun. And from what I can tell, you're a solid friend in real life. No idea where it's getting that from. Smart, reliable, and always up for a chat.
That's good.
There you go. That's sweet. Jake?
Let's go with Jake.
Yeah, you seem like a fun and ambitious and social guy who's always up for a laugh, but also knows how to work hard when it matters. You've got a great mix of creativity and drive, whether it's through the Mac Pack, like literally mentions it by name.
Jesus.
Radio, comedy, or music. You're also someone who values good times with friends and family, even if you sometimes feel caught between wanting to be part of everything and needing to do what's best for you.
Ooh,
That's a bit-
that's true.
That is...
Plus, you've got a strong independent streak, which probably makes you stand out in your circles. Overall, you seem like someone who's always pushing forward while keeping things light and entertaining.
You seem like someone who second guesses their email drafts.
Yeah.
You
Seems
seem
like
someone
how
who-
he sends a lot of emails.
You sound like someone who needs to know that I before E after a C.
It's an interesting situation. I've noticed a lot over the last week or so that a lot of people seem to be using... Like, I thought I was using it... I thought I was by myself in the sense that I use it.
Yeah, you were the main user.
I thought they were looking at, like...
I thought Sam built this for me.
Like, at a global point, every week they come in and they're like, all right, top user again. Let's have a gaze at what he's been doing. And it's just me just,
Horrible email draft.
just unloading.
What do you think the main thing you talk about chat with is?
Decision making. I'm terrible at decision making. That surprises no one sitting next to me. But for those at home, it probably does. Just, I don't know. I don't like picking things. So I'll often ask it, which one should I do? And it sucks at just telling me an answer. Like, it'll often just be like, well, here are all the pros for this, and here are all the pros for this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm well
I know
aware of
this
them. I just want you to tell me which one to do.
I live my life, chat.
Yeah, I've had some interactions with it like that, and I do ask it, what would you do if you were me?
Yeah, that's good.
Or like, what would you decide? And
Yes.
then it usually does make a call.
Yes, that's where I'm getting to that point
I'll
now.
say
We're
make the
learning.
call.
We're learning each other quite well, and I'm now giving it further instructions, being like, just for future, don't mention the knee issues, or just for future,
Yeah.
let's just scrap all this educational shit and just let me know what you think,
Yeah, okay.
which I think is good.
Yeah, you got to really
Ooh.
sort of tell it what you want.
Do you ever... I frequently tell chat that it's incorrect when I know it's incorrect.
Yeah, you need to.
Sometimes it'll give me wrong info. and
Pull
I'll
it
be
into
like,
line.
or I'll read it, and in the same paragraph, it'll just create a kind of conundrum for itself, which just means that whatever they're talking about isn't possible.
One of my favorite things that it does is when I do say something, it says memory updated, and I'm like, okay, it's got me.
So you can go into the memory and be like, delete
Oh,
this
that could be
thing
handy.
about whatever.
Because what I now do, and I'm interested to hear if you do. I don't imagine Joe does, but Riley, you might. Let's say I'm looking for it to make a decision for me.
Yeah.
Inevitably, we'll get to the point where it does.
Yeah.
I then go back to it like after the event, after it's made.
Oh,
a
let it know how it did.
and I'll give it feedback. I'll be
You
like,
fucked me again.
Chat, it's all your fault. I'm now a convicted murderer.
yeah. So like stuff like that, just to give it really good, just so it gets scope. And I do feel it get quite proud about it when it's done
Going well. It's brushing.
Yeah, it's often like, oh, I'm glad to hear that. Let's keep that in mind when we have the same question, in 3 hours' time. You person who is unable to make a decision for yourself.
Let's keep this in mind when we decide on what to have for lunch.
Let's keep this in mind next time you try and second guess me, Jacob.
You prick.
So it's very good. I'm finding it reassuring that other people are asking it what seems to be as many weird questions as I am.
It is one of those things where obviously you should talk to people, but it is good to ask something. You can ask it something like, "Oh, I'm not going to be judged." Asking chat, and it's also like I guess with like the little things like the email stuff. It's like, especially at work, when you're like drafting an email, you don't want to be like to your coworker like, oh, like is this a little like passive? Am I like not coming across well?
Yeah,
but if you ask your robot friend,
I'm big on it as well. Like I'm very supportive. Like I like to big him up as well. I'm now at the point, and I know that we only mentioned ChatGPT. I don't know how many episodes ago, and we sat. I've never said it right. It's part of my power move. But we have sat here many moons ago and chatted about it and been like, no, it's going to take over the world. Like not keen on that. I don't want to know any of my information or anything. I can proudly say that if they come up with a literal physical feature where I could have like a 1 foot little chap next to me at all times, I'd buy it fucking tomorrow. Didn't take long to get to that. Alrighty boys, it's time for our favourite weekly segment. It's our only weekly segment. It's time for our Everyday Hero. Joey's freshened up. He's had a big old gulp of water. We've been off for 5 minutes, but now he's going to have a big old gulp of water.
yes, for those who are just tuning in, Everyday Hero is the segment we do every week where I bring a hero.
It does seem like that. We went through a patch a couple of years ago where Joe had just decided that he was just going to be
Ep 233.
a viewer for
Airport
that
Hero.
segment.
Oh no, that was
Airport Hero. That
It's
was
you.
That was
you.
me. Yeah. Then Luke Heggie had one before that. So Joey, it's not always you, mate.
yeah, it's so too.
Me and Heggie are lifting our own
When was
weight.
my last one? I feel like
Because before that, I had the Fenway fellas. That was
You did
classic.
episode 228 when we went to see them big lizards.
them
Me?
big lizards.
we're locking that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm back. I'm contributing.
Cool. Anyway, I feel like I've been doing a lot lately.
You have.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
But you also
Riley's Jero one was good.
you keep hogging it.
That
so
was good.
Every time we sit down, it's like we're going to do the podcast, and Joe's like, "No, I'm doing a hero."
Guys, I'll be doing the
Try
hero.
the hero. He stopped referring to it as the Mac Pack and just started calling it like the everyday hero. Yeah.
The Here Joe.
Fire up.
All right, this one is a genuine bona fide freaking hero. This guy saved over 2.4 million lives, right?
Wow.
That sounds impressive, right? Let me tell you,
I
can
never
make that
thought I'd
even-
see Joey
It's like the
give
whole of Perth.
I can make that even better, right? What's
Okay.
better than saving 2.4 million lives?
2.5.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah,
2.5
not the number.
million.
Changing a different word.
Lives.
Yeah. What? Okay. What would sound better? Saving 2.4 million people, but you want to make the people sound better. That's right. 2.4 million babies.
Oh, okay, good.
How
yeah.
about not people? Not
Children,
people who have
babies.
grown up and had their own mistakes and lives and trials and tribulations,
Yeah.
but babies.
Little baby face.
Little babies, which we're all here to protect.
I touch your face.
Were you there for that? No, that was you.
Yeah.
That was you.
What
mate.
is that?
Me and Riley once got on a.
I touch your face.
This was 2000 and.
Oh, I
we
touch your
needed
face.
we needed down tools for this. This is worth.
this is good.
This might be
Heroes.
a hero.
I touch your face.
We're,
I think you've got it.
2019, we went to Melbourne.
I touch your
you
face.
came.
I came, yeah.
And then you left.
I came, I saw I conquered, and I went back up.
I touch your face.
And when we were on a train, we were on a tram on the way
in
home.
Melbourne CBD.
And
We
just-
just visited Starbucks for the first time. Remember I got a Starbucks? You put it on. I think it was the MacBack story back before the MacBack was the MacBack podcast.
Yeah, when we
We
were
were
just
Mac
three
Back
brothers,
3.
and we couldn't afford microphones. We were sitting on this tram, and there was this young lad, and he was like FaceTiming his kid, wasn't he?
Yeah, not young, probably like 30-ish. Yeah, he was just on FaceTime with like a headphone in,
Yeah.
and he was talking to. Well, it seemed
A
like it
baby.
was his little kid,
He just
and it
kept
was like a
saying
nice little like chat that I was just having, and then like. But for some reason, he got a bit loud at the end and just kept saying,
"I'll touch your face. I'll touch your face." And he was. I
The
don't.
he
baby.
just kept like holding it, like, "I touch your face, I touch your face."
And we're not doing an accent either. Like he was just doing
Yeah,
like
it
baby
is-
talk, but it
you
was
guys
like
are doing
he
a-
was doing an act. That couldn't be more accurate.
That wasn't his voice.
No, he was doing an accent, and we're just doing him.
I touch your face.
He was putting some baby thing on, and me and Riley sort of looked at each other, and we're
how-
like,
What the
"Hope
fuck?
he
you
comes
guys-
over here and touches my." Is he allowed to touch baby face?
Maybe that's why he needs to have a phone.
I'll touch your face.
I touch your face.
I'll touch your face.
So how
if anyone,
old was the
And
baby?
we joke about
we
it.
assume it was a baby.
So
don't we? Oh no, we
freaking-
could see the baby in the camera.
Because I felt we were standing and he was sitting
Yeah,
on the
Yeah.
tram. I touch your face.
just kept saying it.
And then he got off, just kept saying, I touch your face.
What are you reckon about FaceTiming a baby?
What about you?
Pretty one-sided chat.
What do you think about touching a baby's face?
Yeah, why are you
Via-
forcing that?
Like, it must be like a cute thing that they do.
How fun?
IRL. Yeah.
Like he plays with their cheeks or something.
Could you
And then touches
settle.
their face.
Could you imagine like anyone using anything that you've ever said in a conversation on a bus, just like moving forward and quoting that? Another one of my absolute all-time favorites. New Year's Eve, we were up the top of like
Yeah.
Monument Hill or something.
No, Jacob's Ladder.
Was I
Jacob's
there?
Ladder. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Australia.
you were
Day.
there,
Australia
It
Day,
was
yeah.
Australia Day.
This was
Yeah,
it was fine to do at the time.
Yeah, this is when it was okay to celebrate Australia Day. There was no. It was just more.
Everyone was there.
It
Everyone
was
was
widely
about.
This was
accepted.
like-
we
like
weren't like.
a decade and a half
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
This was so long ago.
This was before education or anything had happened. But we were standing at Jacob's
Jacob's Ladder.
Ladder.
Your ladder.
Oh, that's right. I've made it. And we're standing
Of a
there.
series of steps.
Waiting for the fireworks to go off, and a couple of like young drunk lads
Yeah,
peeled past,
yeah.
and they were just pushing forward, and a young family had obviously ridden their bikes to the. I don't know how they got them up the fucking
Jacob's
steps,
Ladder,
but
yeah.
they did it. Power to them. And they just left their bikes there, and all these young lads like push forward, and the people who owned the bikes had moved significantly away from the bikes. Like they weren't sitting on the bikes still; they were elsewhere. So it looked like they were just strange bikes sitting there.
Yeah.
They were enjoying the ladder.
And then the lads were enjoying the fireworks, and with the excitement of the fireworks, one of the bikes got like bowled over, and I think
Bit of a domino.
yeah, and then bowled over a few other bikes.
Yeah.
And we were there long enough that we could see the people who owned the bikes and had gotten off them, and the young lads who had turned this little bike situation into
Massacre.
just modern day dominoes.
yeah.
And one of the best quotes I've ever heard was just one of the young
We all
lads.
say it at the same time.
Yeah, one.
I
Okay.
don't remember this.
Oh,
I don't
fuck
think it was
off.
one of the. I think it was a separate man.
No. It was one of the young lads at the back who turned around, saw the bike slowly toppling and making quite a bit of noise. And he just said very loudly, like he pronounced it as though he was.
A proclamation.
Yeah,
I don't
as,
know what this
as
is
though
gonna
he was
be.
the second coming. And he just went, bikes will fall.
Like heads will roll.
It was beautiful. It was, I've never, like,
Truer words hath not been spoke.
Other than touch your face.
touch your face, bikes will fall.
I touch your face. I do remember bikes will fall now. That was
Bikes
true.
will fall.
Is that a thing or did he
No.
make it
I've
up?
Never heard
Yeah,
it
but
since, never heard it before.
It's a take on heads will roll. It must be.
Bikes will fall. And like
will fall.
pissing himself laughing as the poor dad like picked up the bikes. Bikes will
That's so
fall.
good.
So good.
There you go.
So this guy saved 2.4 million babies.
Hell yeah.
He is none other than James Harrison, the man with the golden arm, who donated his rare blood, which
Blood.
has.
Wait, can I see him?
Blood boy.
Why is he laying like
Let me
that?
get a photo. I think that was when he was donating blood.
How
Look
much
at
blood
him.
did they take? Can he stand?
They've got him really
He's-
down.
Yeah. Why is he so like
it-
horizontal?
Has he?
So the blood flow goes up. Something. I don't know. They do this all the time.
Can I see it? So he's like an old guy.
He since passed away.
Yeah, so he's passed away. He was 88 when he died, and he
they took
saved.
too much blood.
He saved 2.4 million babies with his. So he had a rare blood that they could use to make anti-D. Not sure what the problem with D is, but it sounds bad.
Anti-D.
Yeah, so he donated like over 1,000 times.
Wow.
Yeah, very
2.4
impressive.
million doses of this medicine.
All
which
like went
is-
in his old age while he was withering? Or
No,
like
I think he
throughout
found
his
out
life?
when he was. I think he just was being a good Samaritan, donated blood, and the people were like, "This is you got the good shit."
Yeah, yeah. It's
Um,
like, when mum donates blood and then she gets like a text and says,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
blood's being used in Bunbury today.
Yeah.
His phone would be blowing up.
Yeah. Oh,
Holy.
whoa.
Imagine
My
that.
phone.
No, very impressive. What was
Yeah.
the old man's name? It's rude to say old man, but he's not a young man.
He was 88. His name was James Harrison, but he was famously known as the man with the golden arm because he was a great pitcher.
Oh, not because of
No,
the-
because
obviously because of the blood. Obviously because of the blood. He just used to bowl some absolute
Yeah,
ripping
yeah,
off
yeah,
spinners. That's like,
he was fucking jacked. Yeah, but just good on him. Like, it would be funny if he found out the first time he donated. They were like, "You have this amazing blood. We can save lives," and he was like, "I think one was good for me."
Yeah, because I guess giving blood, not that I ever have, but I've had blood tests. I assume they're pretty similar.
Are they?
It is like...
They take a lot more.
Yeah, obviously. But like you're just sitting there. Like it's not like you don't feel like a man of valor when your blood's being like
That's true.
stripped out of you.
You
So I guess like doing it the amount of times that he would have had to do it to save that many babies.
very
There's
cool.
A lot of commitment. A lot
Yeah.
of visits to the
Very
the
impressive.
blood bank.
Because it isn't like something where you get direct and immediate feedback for what you're doing.
Yeah, they're not like lining the babies up. They're like,
baby's here now.
I think if they did, more people would feel inclined, or at least a little bit of pressure
I
to
would
do.
go down.
yeah, if they're like babies with like a timer.
Yeah, yeah. And you're like, shit. And I was gonna go play golf, but
Yeah.
Babies will fall.
But not with James Harrison around, even though he's
he's
sadly no longer with
I
us.
hope
Did they drain him?
they drain him dry. How did he pass? Something unrelated. I
Loss
hope.
of like cardiac arrest.
How did he die? I think he was just
Hopefully just old age. He got tetanus from a needle.
No, he was actually killed by a baby. In a rare twist of irony.
A bunch of bikes fell on him.
Not sure how he died.
Yeah, a bunch of
Not
bikes.
sure how he died. Just passed away.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Well, that natural causes. We'll chalk one up to natural causes. We don't always chalk them up, but
Natural causes wins again.
Yeah, he died in his sleep. Why are you laughing?
it's like not.
This guy is
Poor guy
probably
was
like
strangled to death in his
he
sleep
died in his sleep behind the wheel of a school bus. All right,
with a pillow over his face.
That's fucked.
this guy is like by far the biggest hero we've
Yeah, we've
ever
had.
done.
And that's why you can have fun with him. Because he's such a hero that
He is
nothing
a
can pull
legend.
him down.
Good on him. I'm going to end it now so we can
Yeah.
do an episode next week, I guess. Absolute superstar. That's a huge heroic act to do, and like quite a time.
To do it.
Yeah,
He
quite
donated for 60 years.
that's a long
They
time to
could
be in
never
the chair.
find a vein.
What an absolute superstar. One of our best heroes to date. He's obviously dominated.
Yeah, he's
in
like,
that
we don't need to
space.
say anything. It's all been said.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll just do what we normally do and take the piss, apparently. Nah, massive props to him. He is winning this week's Everyday Hero 235's Everyday Hero, the man with the golden arm. Alrighty, boys, that just about brings us to the end of another episode of the podcast.
Happy St. Paddy's Day. Time of recording is St. Patrick's Day. Joe's wearing a shade of green.
Yeah, Joe's packed the mustard away. which
We
is
all had a
nice.
bloody nice Guinness stew tonight to
Beef and Guinness.
honour our Irish heritage, which Mum made.
Joey didn't. Joey was taking a stand.
Mum, the only
No.
one with no Irish blood in her.
No.
And Joe didn't have any.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah, I
Joe's-
didn't have any,
Joe
but I did
said
have
I'm-
a potato.
You had a bloody potato.
Yeah, you had
It
a
was
potato.
surprisingly good, despite being cooked by Jay.
Huge. Big week. Just in general.
And you've got your badge?
Yes, I do have my badge. I did want to mention this. sharp-eyed YouTube viewers, of which they're...
Yep. The 2 of them. Although
Here we go.
I got some praise this week
Bullshit.
From who?
for the YouTube from an avid listener.
Okay, we'll do your bit first, and then we'll get to the...
Yeah, I got some praise
Accreditation.
coming in.
You've got like a real fade feature on your phone, which I quite like. Why does it do that?
What do you mean? The background?
Yeah, it goes... Whoom,
Because he jailbroke it.
I'm jailbreak. Didn't jailbreak it, buddy.
Are we getting this?
Open
piece
it
Yeah,
up,
this
bro.
is it. So this is about the Dyson Heppel episode. Congrats
Okay.
on the potty, man. Insane work.
Oh.
That's fantastic.
He goes on to say, I said he was a great guest. He said, indeed, he was the best ever. Shield your eyes, Luke Heggie and Luke Jackson. And he said, I asked him what his favourite bit was. He said, whatever, we don't need to get too much in the details. But he said the whole thing was a masterpiece.
What did he say his favourite was?
He said his favourite thing was the supplement thing.
Oh,
Because he
okay.
didn't know much about it.
That's fair enough.
I didn't know much about it either.
I said, yeah, it was interesting. Anyway, and then he said the whole thing was a masterpiece. And after that bit of praise, I had to hit him with a, did you watch or listen?
Oh,
I watched on YouTube. And I got a shackers.
there
So that's it. The YouTube last week was apparently a masterpiece.
you go. A masterpiece. You must have actually
Nice,
watched
Joey.
it then, Joey.
Yes.
Sometimes you've edited it without even looking.
That one I looked at many a time.
Nah, very good. Thank you to everyone who sent nice messages about the episode with Dyson as well. If you haven't listened to it, for whatever reason, if you think, oh yeah, I don't want to listen to like a footballer, he's not. Like,
He's the least
Yeah, he's a
footballer.
retired footballer.
he's the footballer you wish footballers were like. I think. Is
Yeah.
probably, he's the person you wish more people were.
Yeah.
Would probably be the easiest way to say it.
Legit.
No, he's a superstar. So if you haven't listened, go back and listen. And if you have listened, thank you, and you've let us know that you've enjoyed the show. Thank you. We
If you
received.
have listened, give it a watch. Who knows?
We actually received so
Yeah.
much lovely feedback already, which has been fantastic. And what I would like people to do, because I've seen some fantastic comments come through over the journey. Every Spotify episode, there's a little box,
Okay.
and you can type in what you liked about the respective episode or what you hated. You can just make a
Get
comment.
in the comments.
You can just make a comment. So like whether it's
Can you do that?
absolutely
Yeah, even podcasts I see that get like, the most popular podcasts, they don't get that many comments.
no. But our community is very, very loyal.
Yeah, so we will definitely read them.
100%. And we want you to get involved as well. Like Riley taking, I don't know, a shit in his pants 2 weeks ago.
Let us know if you
let us
bloody
know if you
liked
can-
it or you threw up.
If you've got some feedback to give him, or you just want to get in on the joke, drop your line in. Because I often listen to podcasts and I'm like, you could say something funny here, or there's a joke. Drop it in. Just let us know what you're thinking at the time.
Here's a question.
Here we go.
So say if I commented on a podcast I listened to,
Yes.
could you see that I've commented?
Yes.
Yep.
So it becomes like a forum, which is quite exciting. So other people can get involved.
say what they
there
thought
as well.
about it.
That's cool.
So do it,
Might
because
start
it
doing
doesn't
that.
matter which episode you're listening to either. Like, because we'll get all of the notifications, we'll read them out based on what and it'll be quite fun, because if you're listening to episode 235, for example, because there will be people who are listening to this episode in the future.
Whoa.
Because every day, I don't know, it's episode 60, for example, 20 people have listened to that today.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, that's from 2001. Like,
Let us know what's going on in
so
the future.
feel free to drop any messages you want.
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said 2001.
Well, that would be a while ago.
That would be crazy.
If you can find
I
that
wasn't even
information.
here, dude.
But it is Luke's 100th game.
Oh yeah,
this weekend.
Go and listen to his episode and give us a comment.
Hell yeah.
Ex-guest of the pod. He's part of the VI pack.
That's crazy.
Can't remember what number cap we gave him.
Me neither.
He was early.
Very early.
Oh.
And it was years.
Well, actually, it was a bit late.
What does that mean?
On the day. It was a bit late to get here.
Joey. He's an absolute superstar.
But he also spent 4 hours here. So
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
actually was here for... He's here longer than I'm here.
We did
but-
3. No, we did 2 episodes.
I actually
Two
left
long
before
ones.
him.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he left his wallet here. Silly Luke.
Yeah, because he was so dehydrated.
Yeah,
He's like,
Yeah,
get me
'cause
out of here. Leave
we have an
everything
intense light. It was the middle of summer, and we had a heater next to him.
Now that I look back on it, pretty hectic for us to be like, yeah, we'll just push on with more questions, yeah? And he's like, yeah, no.
Oh, we've got a song and a game now.
like, surely in if some
We're guessing Jacks.
And it was a pretty
Imagine
hard
if-
game. We
imagine
played-
if
I
in the
think we did a few
second-
games.
Imagine having a conversation with someone, and in the second hour, like, you think it's coming to an end, and in the second hour, they just start playing a song
We're
that
guessing
they
Jacks.
have like a Jackson 5 clip that they had sung, and you're sitting there being like, and he was loving it. He was laughing away, mainly
I
because
don't think he realized like how long. I think it felt. It didn't feel
Yeah.
like 3 hours.
no. I think for him it might have felt like 3 days.
I
but
think
Because when he was leaving, I remember him like looking at his phone and being like,
what day is it?
I thought we were sitting here and someone mentioned the time and he was like, really? He was like, it's already midnight.
No, he was an absolute jet. So if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to that. He's a
As if he's
footballer.
playing 100 games this week. That's hectic.
"Yeah, he's just playing one."
What do you mean?
Game 100.
No, yeah, I know. Like game 100. That's crazy.
And there's all this controversy. He's in the news. He wants to go back to Melbourne. All this bullshit. Who cares? Just
He said no.
he said no, but he's playing footy. Even if he wants to go, mate,
let him go.
I've left my job 3 times since he's left his. Like,
that's it.
let him
It
do
is
what he
funny when
wants.
people like talk
He
about.
owes you nothing.
Yeah.
No.
People talk about it like it's not a job.
Yeah, like he
they're
owes
oh,
you.
you left the fucking team. It's like, yeah, because someone else is
on
in
your
front of
name,
me.
like who the fuck are you,
Yeah.
mate?
Yeah, good on you, Luke.
He's
Do
an
it,
absolute
yeah.
superstar. Get around him this weekend. He's dominating, and he was on the pod. So if you just need a reason to cheer for him, fucking oath.
Back him in.
Us, for
I
example.
wonder what his banner will say. We're guessing Jacks.
Wouldn't have thought so. He's an absolute ledge. So big ups to Luke. Congratulations on game 100. Have an absolute rip snorter. He goes against our good boys, the Warners.
The
as
Warners,
well,
yeah.
which
A MacPack Derby. Yeah.
is like- yeah, to some degree.
We wish.
Superstars. Okay.
We can get box seats.
Yeah, hit him up, Joey. Boys, been an absolute pleasure. Until we do this time next week. Stay safe, stay blessed, and always remember to.
Go give your mum a hug.
It's ciao for now. Bye now. Boys, have you seen the new piece of tech we've got running here at the MacPack?
Oh, it's quite exciting, isn't it, Joey?
Very exciting.
What's it bloody called, Jake?
It's called the Mac phone.
The Mac phone.
The
What does
Mac
that mean?
phone. It's like a bat phone, but it's for the Mac.
That's right, guys. We've got our own bloody text and call line 047 30 30 88 0.
And we want you guys to get in contact at any point that you choose to. It might be Tuesday lunchtime that you're listening to this.
That's right. It doesn't have to be live.
No, it doesn't.
You could just text us right now. Tell us what you're having for lunch. That's all. That's
you-
all we care about.
You might be walking home and you see a weird thing happen on the street. Text the Mac phone.
And we won't get back to you, but at least we'll know about
We'll
it.
definitely see it.
And we could talk about it on radio as well. So that could be
Or
good.
the pod.
If you really want to be involved, that's Saturday mornings, 8 till 10 a.m. That is when
We're on call.
we're on call and on air. And that's 047 30 30 88 0.
But you can hit the number absolutely anytime you want. Any questions, any queries, any way that you want to get involved with the show, just fire it through. 047 30 30 88 0.